Few people know that it's a crime to leave a child in an unattended running motor vehicle in Washington state. And if you're watching this video, you might have been charged with a crime for leaving your child under 16 in your car. And if you've been charged for that crime, you're probably pretty worried. You're upset that you might be looked at like a bad parent, and you wonder what's going to happen. Well, my name is Lance Fryrear, and I'm the owner of the law offices of Lance Fryrear. We're a 5-attorney criminal defense firm located in Linwood, Washington. We've been defending people charged with crimes for more than 20 years. And this year, we've had several people charged with this particular crime. So I thought I'd make a video to tell you more about it and how it is that we can go about keeping you from being convicted of that crime potentially. So again, what is the crime? It's leaving someone under 16 unattended in your vehicle while the motor is running. That applies all throughout Washington state in any public place, a driveway of a store, a parking lot, pretty much anywhere that's open to the public at any time. So not your own private driveway, but pretty much anywhere else. And for the general law, the car has to be running and the child has to be under 16 without any adults there for it to be a crime. There are some cities, and more cities make it a crime to leave someone under 16 in an unattended car, even without the motor running. A few that come to mind that we've dealt with recently are the city of Marysville, the city of Linwood, and there's more and more. And so it's becoming more and more strict, and it makes sense. We want to not leave young people in a car unattended. It could be unsafe due to heat, could be unsafe due to other people doing something to the child, or even the child waking up and running away or operating the car, making it roll out of park. So it makes sense why they've turned that into a crime, but the problem is that most people don't know it's a crime. So what's the typical fact pattern? Well, typically we see that a parent is busy and they're running to return something at a store, or they're just running in for a minute, they think, to get something, and maybe their child is asleep in the back seat. Maybe the child just doesn't want to come, or maybe COVID-19 makes it dangerous to bring the child into the store. And so the parent thinks, I'll just be a minute. And that minute may turn into more minutes, and things happen. And the next thing you know, someone has reported the unattended child to the police. And it's sort of the parent's worst nightmare. One of them, you come out and you see the police surrounding your car, and your first thought is, oh my God, what happened to my kid or my kids? And you're relieved to understand that nothing's wrong, but then you're really shocked to learn that it's a crime. It's a misdemeanor offense where you can go to jail for 90 days. And now the officer is either arresting you, giving you a citation, or telling you that you're going to get a complaint in the mail and have to go to court. So what a nightmare. You'll also most likely get a visit from Child Protective Services. Officers have to mark CPS on their police report if it involves a young person and send it to CPS, and quite often CPS will eventually come visit. So I know you feel terrible. You might be afraid about getting convicted. You're definitely afraid about what the court might think of you. And so it's not hopeless. Here are some things that you need to know. So if you get that court date and you need to go to court, the first thing you need to know is you better get an attorney. Prosecutors and judges do not like this charge. Prosecutors and judges often have children, and so they think about what could have happened. And sometimes we're so surprised in the police report, the parent is, that they might not act their best with the officer. They might act angry with the officer because, hey, I would never harm my kid. And sometimes the police report looks pretty bad. For that reason, you want to have an attorney. It's not like a traffic ticket where you just go to court and explain what happened. It's like a regular crime, like a DUI or an assault. It's not a felony, but it's a misdemeanor offense, and so you're going to be having to go to a district or municipal court. So you don't want to do this on your own. So your first court date is called an arraignment, and that is not the court date to figure out what happened. That's just the court date to plead not guilty. If you have a private attorney, oftentimes a private attorney can waive the first court date for you, so you don't have to miss work and don't have that stress, but you'll have to go to future court dates. So at future court dates, We generally don't defend these cases by saying that we're innocent of the charge. Not knowing the law is not a defense, but not knowing the law makes a difference in possibly how a prosecutor might consider it if we have you do the right things. And what are the right things we might have you do? Well, we might have you do a parenting class, an online parenting class to show that you understand that this wasn't the best thing to do. We might have you write out an essay or something regarding the law and stating that you understand that this is serious and it won't happen again. We might even use the results of a CPS investigation. If CPS comes and interviews you and your family, they're probably going to make a determination that there's no problem at home and that this was just a slip up and a one-time thing. And sometimes we can use that result to show the prosecutor that you are a good parent and that nothing bad should happen to you. So what are possible results of these types of cases? Well, if you're in a municipal court, sometimes we can negotiate for what's called a stipulated order of continuance. That's a sort of a contract with the city where if you don't have more problems and you jump a few hoops, maybe this stuff we've already had you do, after a period of time, the case could get dismissed. Sometimes we can negotiate to get an outright dismissal by jumping some of those hoops again. And sometimes it gets a little more difficult. It's important, though, that you have an attorney because it's far too emotional typically for you to deal with it on your own. If you get charged with this, again, don't panic. Usually we're going to have a good outcome. Most people realize that there's no evil intent in what happened. Again, it's not a good idea to be in this situation, but there's a lot going on in the world right now. So if you have this problem and you need some help, feel free to give our office a call. Again, my name is Lance Fryrear. I'm the owner of the law offices of Lance Fryrear. We've been defending people charged with these type of crimes for more than 20 years. We'd be happy to talk to you, hopefully make you feel better right away, and we'll be there for you. Please hang in there, and we will see you soon. Thank you.